Raider Nation. Things are getting interesting. Slowly but surely, things are starting to boil up on our offense. A lot of people unhappy with Davante. A lot of people unhappy, period, about it's contradicting. No matter what approach you take, there's enough issues where you just can't pick one thing. It's everything. It's a totality of everything. We have to be honest with ourselves and just call it like it is. Davante didn't say it directly, but yet he did. It's funny. I get a kick out of stuff like this. Controversial conversation today on Night of the Shield. Early edition of Night of the Shield. Yes. Always fun, always exciting, good times. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Night of the Shield. I'm your host, Jason Smith, a.k.a. the Oakland Knight. This is the Las Vegas Raiders News Review, brought to you by Independent Blind Studios, where we educate, advocate, motivate, and inspire those going through sight loss to rise above the occasion, be the best they can be, take their dreams, make them reality. If you're dealing with any type of loss, whether it's mobility, hearing loss, no matter what it is, we encourage you just the same. Check out Independently Blind right here on YouTube. All right, let's go ahead. Like I'm early. I mean, I literally got off one job, made it over here in time, put some things together, change, take a drink, upload some stuff, and boom, here we are. I'm sitting down, ready to address the nation. I got to get this out. I got something planned for tonight with the fam. So welcome, Richard Lyon. Salute, brother. Salute right back at you. Ray Gonzalez is in the house. Salute, nation. Big shout out to Raider Ben, who just ended his live. He got me through the last part of my job, and this conversation came up, and he shared his point of view. And his point of view is one side of the coin, and there's another point of view, which I'll get into, which is mine. And there's once again, there's no wrong answer. But if you start, adding everything up, it's not exactly what it looks like, right? So, and I think that's what Davante was, for the first time, in my opinion, unelegantly and eloquently trying to state, right? So basically, we know that he's been what we all called, and we brought it up last night in last night's show even, about diva mentality. And we talked about how Davante's a stand-up dude. He's probably going to get up. He's going to walk some things back, and we'll move forward. That's not what we got. Davante did not walk it back this time. He actually said some things that can be taken to be controversial, contradicting. We all do this. Like when you're trying to talk about what you're feeling and what you're going through, yet at the same time trying to avoid the truth from coming out and being that guy, it's gonna be contradicting. Period. And it's very confusing, right? And I brought up, I believe it was last night and the night before, we were talking about competitiveness, being a competitor, what it's like to have another gear, to have expectations for yourself. Some players have that, like Max and Davante do, and Josh Jacobs, and others, they gotta be challenged. Something has to happen to bring that out in them. And sometimes people like Davante and Max Crosby and Josh Jacobs can be inspired by a negative comment from the other side of the team that kind of puts them in a different level, right? Sam Tanaka, salute night, salute to you, brother. And that sometimes takes, look at Brett Favre. His dad passed away. He got inspired by that. He played anyway. It was against us. We got lit up by Brett Favre. When you have that type of skill set and something else behind you is pushing you on top of the skill that you already have, that's what tends to happen. So when those things are not happening on a consistent basis, and you're that type of competitor and you have that type of expectation for yourself and your team, and how you feel like you could help your team get to that level, That's where the frustration is coming from Davante Adams. And I know that's not fully understood, and we're tired of the diva mentality, and we're tired of things that are happening. But he was specifically asked about Josh McDaniels, and he flat out said it's not Josh. Josh understands. Josh sees it the way that I do, and he started tiptoeing around things. And it's very obvious that it's the play of the quarterback. Reported by Hondo Carpenter himself, he says that Josh is not happy with the lack of execution and the misplay opportunities on the field. And I've been the first one to come out here and tell you that is on the shoulders of Josh McDaniels, period. It's his job to motivate the players just as much as it is for him to coach the players. If they're not executing properly and they're not showing that they can do it on a consistent basis, I don't care what you're paying them. Bench them. Teach them a lesson. Make an example out of them. That's all we heard about last year. That was one of DC's problems, right? DC couldn't take the way that Josh McDaniels coached the team or handled himself and keeping everybody accountable across the board the same way. That's what was reported by Hondo. Derek Carr kind of backed that up in his own words. There was a lot of miscommunication between quarterback and head coach. And I'm not saying that's what we're seeing now in the same variety of it. It's something a little different. But I've been the first to say, and I've been put on record, that when it comes to the quarterback play, because the locker room came out, they like Jimmy. They like the way he commands the huddle. They like the way he carries himself in the locker room. Jimmy is not necessarily a horrible quarterback. He's just not that elite quarterback. He's not going to be that type of quarterback that's going to come in here and start lighting it up. That's not what he's ever been in the National Football League. He could be a steady Eddie. And I think it was a Niner reporter that said he's known to give gimmies, also known as jimmies, right? He'll give you one of those bad throws every single game. For us, it's been multiple at times. And the one thing that I've said that I personally noticed from Jimmy G is I think he's a lot more hurt than he plays out to be. He looks like a very old man playing the position. And that's not me disrespecting Jimmy. I'm not trying to be out here being a disrespectful dude and tell him how much he sucks and get off the football team. I want him gone. I'm just trying to say what I see. Every time he gets hit, every time he goes to the ground, he doesn't pop right up really fast. And when he gets up, he looks a little ginger. Just does. He walks with a slight limp. He just kind of looks, he doesn't look like he's feeling 100%, that he has a lot of aches and pains. He's had shoulders injuries, elbow injuries, foot injuries, knee injuries. The guy has been through it all. And this year alone, he's had a concussion. Now he's got a back injury. His foot got twisted. He's not, reporters will say, he's not even 100% fully healed from the foot injury, technically. There's a lot of different things happening with Jimmy, and all those things added up is, I believe, is affecting his game. I don't even think he trusts himself. And then he's been throwing a ton of picks. He knows his body. He knows his strengths. He knows what he's got and what he doesn't got. He knows it. Josh should know it too. Josh should see it. Josh should be watching tape and saying, this doesn't look right. The report is out there that Josh understands that he's been calling these plays and they're not happening. He's not pushing the ball downfield. Now, one person is saying that, hey, get me the ball. The other person is saying, I'm saying get the ball downfield. And now they're trying to say, so basically they're saying that Jimmy is the problem. I'm just being real. I'm just putting it out there. This is, and look, is Davante, let's answer the first question first before we get into the nuts and bolts of all this, right? Is Jimmy G acting like a diva? Of course he is. Name a wide receiver who don't, right? He was talking about Jacoby Myers. I heard or saw a comment saying that he's probably jealous because Jacoby Myers is eating. No, he's not. I really don't believe that Davante is that guy. Well, he's contradicting himself. On one end of the spectrum, he's saying that he's not getting the ball enough, and then on the other hand, he's saying he just wants to win, and now he's not getting the ball enough. Winning is not all. He was dancing around and trying to stay away from as much as the truth as possible, which made him contradict himself. But make no mistake about it, he was acting like a straight diva. But I can handle that type of diva, dude. I don't think it's that bad. It's not T.O. level yet. The question is, do we have the quarterback that can make the changes necessary? Because literally, a lot of the people that are talking about him being a diva and contradicting himself and not necessarily being a team player right now and just worried about himself are saying is we can't run the ball because we're being blitzed and we can't stretch the field, and we're not stretching the field because we can't run the football. That's essentially what Davante Adams is saying in a very selfish way. The guy's a superstar. That's what he's here to do. All teams want their superstar to be involved. That's the reason they're superstars. They're not made to be decoys. They could be used as decoys, and I think Davante's fine with it. But we're barely winning games. This offense ain't scoring any points, and when he's not getting enough targets, it's like, damn, we're winning, but we're missing something, and that thing is getting our superstars involved, and not just Davante Adams, Josh Jacobs as well. Now, Josh Jacobs has done a better job running the ball as of late. It's growing a little bit. But if he can't run the ball, then get him the ball out of the backfield. Hit him on some more screens. Dump it down and get him in space. He does good things with the football in space, right? So there's multiple ways you can get Josh going, whether it's pass game or run game. It's the same with Davante. We were complaining up until this last week about Trey Tucker and the tight ends. There's some type of disconnect that I'm seeing when it comes from what is being schemed and coached and what is being produced and executed on the field. We all used to say the same thing about DC, even before last year when he was with Gruden, right? He always seemed to want to check the ball down way too much. He'd get scared and just dump it off. It'd be third and 5, and he wouldn't even throw to the sticks. We all complained about it. Now we're missing the fact that he has the ability to throw the deep ball. You see what I'm getting at? Like, we're never going to be happy as fans. We'll pick this thing apart and tell it's right. And this is 20 years that this has been going on. So we all have a certain feeling or a certain attitude about what we're seeing on the football field. My personal perspective is they damn right need to get Davante the ball. They really need to find a way to get Davante involved. That doesn't mean 20 targets. That doesn't even mean 15 targets. You got to keep a defense honest. You can't overdo it. You can't underdo it. Jacoby is eating because Davante still gets that attention. Jacoby Myers is arguably a number one wide receiver himself on another football team. Is he going to be as dynamic as some of the other guys? No, he's just a great route runner that'll find the space he needs to be in and get there. He's very strong, got good hands, and good speed. That's a good thing. Just like we shouldn't be feeding Davante all the time, we shouldn't be feeding Jacoby all the time either. A more balanced approach on offense will be more effective. And because we don't balance this thing out enough, we struggle, primarily in the red zone. So again, I'm not here to make excuses for Davante. Is he acting like a diva? Of course he is. He's a wide receiver, a superstar wide receiver who's proven himself. We talk about him each and every week ourselves. If we would have lost that game last week against the Patriots, all of us would have agreed that you got to throw Davante the ball more than 2 times. We would even say it. Now it's a W, and we want Davante to shut up. Look, I don't like the diva approach either. I don't believe anybody who makes millions of dollars to play a sport has any right to complain about anything. Enjoy what you got. Enjoy the ride. He even said he admires Max Crosby. He admires Josh Jacobs. He's that dude. And did you notice how he slightly put Aaron Rodgers above the rest? He did. He is not happy with the quarterback play. He's very subtly said it from day one. He wasn't on board with the Jimmy move to begin with. He wasn't. And you know deep down inside he wanted them to make a move for Aaron Rodgers. Look, I'm glad we didn't. I'm still glad we didn't. And by circumstance, we might have a change at the quarterback position for this week. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the grass is greener on the other side, regardless who it is. All reports, all signs are pointing at AO4. He's going to make mistakes. He's a rookie. But he does have a live arm, and he's not afraid to throw the ball into double coverage. You're going to get what you ask for, probably, Davante. Now, it's up to you to make the best of it. Richard Lyon, I think we should see Aiden more. Again, I'm with you, Richard. Like, again, from what everybody is saying, the problem is, and if that is the main problem and we need to fix it, it's going to take everybody to do that, starting with pushing the ball down the field. Reports are saying that Josh has game planned that into the scheme, and it's not being done. That's just what was being said. I don't know that to be factual. I wish it looks that way, right? And we've seen this type of thing before. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. We've seen it. We know what it looks like. When a quarterback doesn't execute the game plan, and we don't know the reason why. I don't think he trusts his own arm strength, to be honest with you. Greg Atkinson, it's nighttime, baby. Let's go. Hey, welcome, Greg. I appreciate that, brother. Let's go. Hey, just before I forget, too, because I tend to forget, hey, if you're here, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be updated every time we go live. I got 20 people watching. I appreciate all of you. Actually, just jumped up to 24, man. I feel really blessed today. Thank you. But I only got 9 likes. Help a brother out. Hit that like button. Let's continue. Raider Combo in the house. Raider Combo, what's up, brother? Welcome, man. What's up, Knight and chat? What's up, brother? All right, we got Raphael. Raphael Chachin, if I said that right. What's up, Knight? What's up, Raphael? Richard Lyon, let's say Raf Salute. It's probably Rafa. He changed his photo on me. Richard Lyon, please hit that like button. Richard, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Hit that button, guys. Let's go. Let's move it up. Raider Dangerfield. Almost called you Roger Dangerfield. Raider Dangerfield. You got to blow it up a little bit more. For those who may be new here, I am legally blind. Just bear with me. With the inability to go downfield, it makes it difficult on the wide receiver. Okay, so Tay has a right to bitch. You're paying him, so use him. And those are facts, right? And he has to understand where the problem's at. And I'm sure the conversation is being had respectfully behind scenes. And a lot of times, look, here's one thing that we're not talking about. Diva mentality or not diva mentality. Can we give it up for the man for just being brutally honest? All the time we talk about how players are coached and they come out here. It's really cookie cutter answers week in and week out. How much they respect the game plan, the other players, the other team. You know, deep down inside, they won't want to respect anything, right? The whole goal is to go and destroy that person. But some players will come out and say that, and it causes a big ordeal in the media, and then they're getting blown out, and the focus is on that. But this guy is coming out and doing his best to express his feeling without throwing Jimmy G under the bus. And look, it's a respecting. It's not that he doesn't respect Jimmy or doesn't like Jimmy. It's just he knows what it is to play with a quarterback that can get him the football. And if the quarterback can get a guy like Davante Adams the football double coveraged, bracketed, then that quarterback can make all the other plays even easier. You're not seeing that from our quarterbacks. We were talking this week about how Hoyer came in and did his job. As a backup quarterback, he came in and did his job. He wasn't elite. He wasn't great. Just like Jimmy before him, he stalled in the red zone. He drove us down, did a good job putting us in scoring position and getting field goals, and that was enough just to hold on, right? To give it to our defense and win the game. But it was the same. It was no different than we were getting from Jimmy G. So the question has to be asked, does that quarterback exist right now? And I know if my boy G Ward was here, he would start going in on how we don't draft well and the quarterback doesn't exist and never has existed. And we're going to blow it again this year. And that may or may not be true. But what I do know is that we have a young quarterback that has a bigger arm, stronger arm, can maintain it. Yes, he looked below average against the Chargers. But that was against the Chargers. First game in the National Football League, going up against Khalil Mack, who was eating him alive. He fumbled the ball. He threw a pick when we could have had the chance to tie the game. We all watched the game. We all understand the scenario. his second approach at this, he should be a little bit more relaxed. He's going to have, from what I'm hearing, I don't know this to be factual either, he's getting first team reps. He's going to have an opportunity to prepare the right way, have a game plan based around him, go out there and execute. And let's see what happens. Again, I'm not looking for the kid to light it up. It's only his second game in the National Football League. But I can't help to think if this guy has the cojones to sit there and throw it up into double coverage and get the ball downfield and start opening this thing up, then maybe the running game gets going and maybe then now the offense is going to perform the way I feel like it should. We have a lot of complementary players on this roster on offense. It's not just Davante Adams. You got Michael Mayer. You got Jacoby Myers, who's lighting it up. You have Josh Jacobs. Trey Tucker has shown up on film. He's not used enough. Got great speed. We should be using him more. Period. DeAndre Carter dropped a big pass last week, but he still has that playmaking ability. So it doesn't necessarily have to fall on Jimmy or Hoyer or even O'Connell. We got to find better ways of opening up this offense, and everybody's saying, and starts by getting the ball down the field. And when I look at these guys, even though Hoyer showed that he could do it, I'm not 100% Hoyer can do that for 4 quarters. I don't know. He's older. Just being honest. Coming from another older man, right? I just know my abilities is not what it used to be when I was younger. Sustaining that kind of physical activity. So, play the kid. Let him be a gunslinger. That's what we need right now. We need some energy. As much as we're winning lately, there doesn't seem to be that type of energy to sustain it. I'm not seeing it. Richard Lyon, it was a lot when Aiden, I'm sorry. It says a lot when Adams is complimenting Aiden O'Connell. And to be honest, he hasn't really threw anybody under the bus, but he is putting it out there, right? He is putting it out there in the universe that wink, wink, that conversations had to be had now. And I don't care. Like I keep hearing all the reporters, look, okay, Josh, Dave, they made a decision to make Jimmy the guy. They paid him as such. And for 2 years, we have this man. We have him next year too. I don't care if we pay him to be the backup quarterback. I really don't care. I wouldn't mind having Jimmy G as a backup quarterback. Make him the new Hoyer. Cut Hoyer, keep Jimmy. Get another quarterback, or let's see if Aiden's got it. That's where we're at as a football team right now, in my opinion. If Jimmy can't get it done, and you're truly mad because you are feeling the same way that things are not being executed to the level you think they should be, basically saying Jimmy's not seeing the field right or not making the right reads, whatever your philosophy is going to be, Josh, then it's your responsibility to make the change. You're the head coach. You got to be the engine that could on this football team on both sides of the football. That's your job. Richard Lyon, Facts Night. I appreciate that, Richard. I'm not, this is just my opinion, right? And I'm basing it off a lot of everybody else's opinion and just kind of taking a little bit from everything because quite honestly, there is a wrong answer here. But if the question is he being a diva? 100% he's being a diva. Now, is he being the type of diva that we've seen in the past, like a Chad Ochocinco or a Terrell Owens, etc.? No, I don't believe that he is. I really don't. I think he's being honest. I think he's pissed. He has a right to be pissed. And it's coming off very arrogant. It's coming off very self-centered. Give me the ball. I'm the superstar. I have a commitment to excellence to myself. All of that sounds really bad. But in translation, he's just saying, I need to be a bigger part of what's happening to open everything up. And it's the quarterback that's not getting it done. And he doesn't want to say that because he's not trying to throw his quarterback under the bus, which also lets me know that Josh McDaniels has yet to make it clear to him what his true decision long-term is. And I think that's bothering Davante too. Because that's why he didn't want to play with Love. So he's frustrated. That Raiders fan. Adams grew up a Raiders fan. It's just unfortunate for a lot of them. Things haven't panned out, as a team overall. And he wanted to be a part of that change, just like many that come over here, that Raiders fan, right? He wanted to be a part of that solution. He like others, and all due respect to DC too. DC talked the same thing. DC tried to say that he was solely a Raider fan growing up. We know that he had a time where his brother played for the Texans, and I get it, right? It's normal. There's obviously ties there that he likes the Dallas Cowboys for a little while too. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not really worried about whether or not these guys are true Raider fans or not. The bottom line is that he wants to be a part of the solution. He wants to be one of the reasons why this all changes. It is personal for him. Do I want him to change? Actually, I kind of don't. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, he's being a bit diva-ish, but all superstars are. Superstar quarterbacks. The difference between a quarterback and a receiver is the quarterback always has the ball in his hand, right? Running backs, cornerbacks, when you're a superstar, you walk with a different swagger and you expect different. But if Davante's version of a diva, which he's being a diva, is at the same time bringing honest truth, even though it's a little selfish at times than the things that he says, I want the truth. He's speaking it like it should be spoke. He's speaking it like we do when we get on our opportunity and our platforms to say it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking my opportunity to have a platform that I create myself to come out here and say, this is bullshit. Davante's being a diva, but he's being honest. And it's not, and he's not being 100% honest. Let's be real. He's not saying the thing that he wants to say. We're not getting elite quarterback play. And there's other options that may or may not do better than Jimmy G. But because we pay him the paycheck, we got to play him. Like, I'm over that, man. If he's not getting the job done, then move on. And the only one who knows that best are the players that go out there and know what the scheme is, know what the game plan is. If it's not being executed, that's up between the team and the coach to have that conversation and be like, dude, you know what the problem is? Pull the trigger. It falls on Josh McDaniels. Custom Cali Tools 99. What's up, brother? Welcome. Totally agree with you, Jason. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. The more that you guys agree with me, it makes it so much easier than a debate. I'm just kidding. I don't mind having a good, strong debate either. Ray Gonzalez. Jason, do you think Mark Davis is hands off? For the most part, I do believe that he is. Or push for AOC. I think for the most part, he is hands off. I think he makes some decisions when it comes to his money being spent and how much of it to who and what and all the book stuff a little bit to a certain degree. But I also believe that Mark Davis should stay out of it. Mark Davis openly admitted himself he doesn't know football. He doesn't know football. Okay. There was many reports that he was ready to go for Tom Brady a few years ago before he went to Tampa. He was ready to move on from Carr. He trusted in Gruden. He let it slide. He let Gruden. So he lets the guys make the football decisions. Now, I don't believe football is hard to learn. I mean, how do you guys remember it, man? And a lot of us, right? There's some that are going to come on here and they actually coach and they actually, are doing this on a daily basis and really getting into certain numbers and way these things go down. And they feel like they know it better than others. And to a certain degree, they might. I'll be real. I'll be Davante in this situation, right? But they don't know Patrick Graham and they don't know Josh McDaniels. Either do I. We pretend that we do just because we're emotional about it. So at the end of the day, regardless of how much you know of football, you got to be careful when you're in your feelings. And when I look at Mark Davis, he's more emotional than technical. But if he truly wanted to learn the game, he could. And help make some of these decisions or direct it when he thinks that, if anything, he can give these guys a vote of confidence to say, play the kid. Who knows what's been said? There's a report saying that Josh is on the hot seat. And if Josh is on the hot seat, I think you play the kid. That's my opinion. Richard Lyon. Robert, salute, brother. All right. So So some of you have already said, that you agree with me, and that's cool. Is there anybody here in the chat that disagrees with me? Let's talk about it. Go ahead and share some of your opinion in the chat. I know that there's plenty out there that don't necessarily agree with me. Hey, I got 26 of you watching, 27, 18 likes. Run up them likes for me, please. Hit that like button. Let's move up the algorithm. Help a brother out. It's the best way that you can help support me. I don't monetize, not yet. I will be at some point. I have the ability to. I have always had the ability to. It's just something that I'm continuing to prove to myself. I got to earn it. It's not something that I'm just going to monetize just because I've done it for like a month and a half. I really want to put the work in, but I need your guys' help to get the word back out there, to move up the algorithm. All the proceeds that I do make from this channel once I kick it off is going towards high school kids, independently blind. Yes, it's going to help me free up time to work with the kids more and things like that. But that's the goal. That's the goal, is to continue to help people that are going through sight loss. All right, 2016 here, only 19. I'll let it ride. I'll continue to earn my stripes. That Raiders fan. Here we go. The Bears will start a rookie quarterback from Division II college football. He played a little bit last week too. I say we should start ours, AOC. And I agree with that too. And it's more and more looking that way. I know there's some people that feel like Hoyer showed enough, like he did something miraculous, in that second half last week against the Patriots, but I promise you he didn't. It was Jimmy G 2.0. I'm just being real. You know what I mean? So Josh A, thumbs up across the board. I appreciate you, Josh A. Thank you, bro. Let's see. Josh A also left another comment. Let me go back up here. Did it push me all the way back? There's the thumb. Here we go. What did Adam say today? Adam was basically saying that he holds himself to a different standard. He has a certain commitment to excellence in his game, and he feels like he should be part of the game plan more. He needs to be schemed in. And then when he was specifically asked about Josh McDaniels' thoughts on it, he said that him and Josh are on the same page, and he flat out said, it's not Josh. He said that. Those are his words. It's not Josh. That him and Josh sees it the way that I do. So basically, without saying it, Josh A., right, Davante was saying the quarterback is not running the play properly, or he's not going through his progressions right, or he's not seeing the field. In a diva part of it, Josh A., okay, he was also saying that I'm always covered, throw me the football. That was the most diva thing that he said, in my opinion, was like, I don't give a care about anything. I don't care about the coverage. I don't care if another guy's wide open. I need to be involved. And to be quite honest, as diva as it was, it's true. If you get Davante, and Davante makes a couple of big plays, because of who Davante is, it changes the rest of the schematic. It makes Jacoby Myers even more effective. It's going to make the running game more effective. It's going to make the tight ends more effective. I can keep going, right? You fill in the blanks. That's what superstars do. When superstars makes plays, the momentum changes. I can honestly say in that Charger game, when he was going off and AOC was actually getting him the ball and he threw that ball down the sideline, there was a different energy from myself when I was watching the game, watching Davante eat. So there's something to it. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not here to defend Davante. He was being a diva. He's being a diva. He's being honest, though, and I can appreciate both sides of that. Ray Gonzalez. Whoever the quarterback is, we need to light up. We need to light up the top. I'm sorry. It jumped on me again. Dang it. We need to light up the scoreboard. Fact. When these top tier teams are coming up, the Lions will be a great test, or a good test, right? And again, you got to start setting that now. You got to put that on film. You got to give something to the Lions to think about. The Lions going to be the first measuring stick in a while. We've had it pretty easy. This will be our third game where it's a winnable game. It's an opportunity for us to implement things, work on things, try to correct our mistakes, and still have an opportunity to win. This is the last chance we got to put something on film that when the Detroit Lions start looking at tape, they say, oh shit, they figured it out, right? Like, we have to play them differently, which is only going to help us compete. It's not going to say we're going to beat a team like Detroit, but it probably is the one thing that's going to keep us from getting blown out of the water. Sam Tanaka, I still believe Adams is pissed off too, and is looking at another team. It's quite possible. I mean, that in itself too is a very true statement, because most players, he knows that he has to bite his tongue. He can't be, it didn't stop anybody from going out and getting TO. And I believe if he really wanted to throw a real fit, he would do so. I really believe that. But at the same time, he doesn't have that say. In my opinion, in my personal opinion, if we actually start playing Aiden O'Connell more, and Aiden O'Connell does not show any type of ability to move the needle forward, then I want to have that conversation. I might be willing to sit down and say, okay, we really need to make some serious moves right now, because we don't have a quarterback on the roster worth a damn, and we're in a position where we need to make some changes. Now, if there's a glimmer of hope, if the defense continues and we go out and we pick up another pass rusher or defensive tackler, things starts to change, I am not willing, because if we trade Davante, we're eating $20 million plus next year. If we dump Jimmy G, the same thing. We can't just start dumping these guys. We kind of sold our soul to them, right? I make Jimmy G the backup. I hold on to Davante unless we feel like there's zero quarterback capability on this football team. Then you use him as the bait you need to move up. And then you take the bite. But I'm he can get mad and say he wants out all he wants. It's not gonna change the narrative. I don't believe so anyway. He's getting set up to his. He's looking at another team. He's fed up with Jimmy G throwing the ball. I'd be pissed off too, and looking for another team. Yeah, again, he might want to go to another team, but like I said, it's not going to be that easy. We committed a lot of money to him, and I think he wants to be part of the change. I think he wants to see change. Period. And it starts at the quarterback spot. I really believe that. Raider John, what's up, brother? What is up to you? I want to get together, man. I think tomorrow might open up for us. I'll text you. I think there was something else that was supposed to happen tomorrow. I'll play it by ear, but either Thursday or Friday, man. I'll text you and try to set something up. I want to test out the audio anyway, and I haven't really had a chance to break down this offense fully yet. Although little bit by little bit, it's coming out. Richard Lyon, John, salute, brother. Richard saying what's up to John. Josh A. Let's see here. My glasses are fogging up and making it even harder. Thanks for catching me up. Yeah, they definitely. Hold on. They definitely need to get him in the game plan. And according to everybody, he is in the game plan. That's the other thing that he was saying, Josh, right? He was saying that that is the game plan. McDaniel's saying he's part of the game plan. It's just no one's pulling the trigger, basically. And that's what I'm saying. It's pretty obvious what he's trying to say. But yeah, don't like the diva part, but he doesn't have a point. Or he does have a point. Yeah, he does have a point. And if you're going to be a diva, be honest and be factual. And he did that. Now, did some of the things he said, were they a little self-centered? 100%. I wouldn't expect anything else from a caliber of player as Davante Adams, to be honest with you. And in fact, I've seen way, way worse, right? We've already talked about the Chad Ochocinco's, the Terrell Owens. Those are two names that pop into my head really quick about just over the top. Keyshawn Johnson is another one that pops up in my head, right? It's one of those things that come with the position. It truly does, especially when you're talked about the way that Davante's talked about. When you're respected by other teams the way that Davante is, he hears it all. He hears it all. And if you're going to be the best, you got to act like the best, right? Raider Ben, what's up, Knight? What's up, Ben? Great show today, bro. Great rant, dude. And you made a lot of good points. Sam Tanaka, it's been a long time since we had an elite wide receiver. We've all begged for it forever. You guys remember that? Remember when Amari Cooper was finally going to be that answer, and then he wasn't? So, I mean, sometimes we got to be careful what we ask for, depending on what it is that you're looking for in a wide receiver. And he also says if we were just using him as a decoy, the head coach is an idiot. And that's basically that was some of the other things. I had to rewatch it again. I was watching it on Ben's live, who Ben's in here right now, and Ben played it, and then I went and listened to it again on the way home before coming on live. And he's basically he stated it, and other people have stated that he is part of the game plan. They're just not pulling the trigger. Is being a diva the way to go? It's going to be the way it comes out. He can't help himself. The diva in him is coming out. Raider Ben is saying Sam. Raider Ben is saying what's up to Richard. He's saying what's up to John. He's saying what's up to Josh. Ben's a real one, y'all. Thank you, Ben. Let's see. Sam Tanaka. Salute Ben. Right back at Ben. And Raider Ben to Ray. I love the community, dude. I love this part of the show, man, where everybody's actually acknowledging each other. I love it. Richard Lyon. Ben, salute, brother. See, it just keeps on going. You got to love it. You got to love it. So again, that was basically my topic for today. Let me see what time it is. Let's see how much time I got. Man, I've only been on for maybe like 40 minutes, but I don't want to just keep repeating myself over and over again. In my personal opinion, the biggest problem with the offense outside of the offensive line play is the quarterback. But I think the quarterback can help the offensive line out. All love, Jason, from Ben. You already know, bro. It's always love, dude. Always love. So everything has to run like a well-oiled machine. It's like when you get in your car, right? You're the driver. But if the pistons are not firing in your engine, you ain't going anywhere. Not smoothly anyway. It's going to be a rough ride, period. Raider Ben, I feel Adams' frustration, but he's being, and I've heard him say that he's being a hypocrite about what he just said a few weeks ago. And again, that's part of the frustration and the diva coming out, in my opinion, Ben, right? And I heard your rant, and it was on point. But then you guys were talking about something later where we were talking about how we're not getting the ball down the field and we can't run the football. And then we get hypocritical in ourselves, right? Because we're saying in one side of our mouth that the offensive line, it sucks, but no, they're throwing deep. There's so many problems on this team, we can't make up our mind on which one needs to be fixed. Now I'm with you. He's being a straight diva, right? He's being a straight diva. Have I seen worse? Way worse. Did he contradict himself? 100%. That's the frustration. Look, the truth of it is, he knows that he's one of the best, if not the best, offensive piece that we have on the football side, the offensive side anyway. And he wants to be involved more because he sees us winning, but he also knows it's not good enough. Playing Detroit, playing Kansas City, playing the Dolphins, this ain't gonna fly. He knows what he's seeing. So it's a bit frustration. And then again, the reports are coming out that McDaniels is saying the same thing, that they're planning it. It's not being executed. So again, all signs, all fingers point to the quarterback, in my opinion, just my opinion. And it makes me more mad at McDaniels, to be honest with you, because then enough with the Jimmy G project then. Either tell him to start executing the play the way that it's supposed to and get the ball downfield and open up this offense and get this running game going and get all players involved. If it's not one thing, it's another, right? Got the tight ends involved. Trey Tucker made some plays, and then you go back to being Jimmy. Hoyer comes in. It looks a little different. He has a little bit more zip on the football, but at the end of the day, it just looks like the Raiders offense. Again, we can go in circles and circles. I probably contradicted myself 5 times in this show alone. Sam Tanaka, I agree with you, Knight, that the quarterback is the one with executes the plays. And it's fact, this is what we were saying about DC last year, right? And McDaniels can see Jimmy can't throw it, right? 100%. He can't throw it downfield. Why doesn't he bench him? Because that makes him wrong. It's Josh McDaniels being just as much of a diva, right? Why don't he bitch him to get more out of this team? Look, because he's a diva too, right? This is the guy, handpicked quarterback. But again, it's not like he had a ton of options, right? But he handpicked Jimmy. He gave him a contract that puts us in bed with him for 2 years. And there's been this, it's just like when you draft, for example, in the draft next year, if we were to move up and grab Caleb Williams, the expectation is that guy needs to start now because we draft him first overall. I don't believe in that crap, man. Why? Why can't we go up and get a Caleb Williams, start AOC, have Jimmy G as backup, and let Caleb sit there and do the same thing we've been having Aiden do? Why not? Why would that be a stupid move? If it only could help the kid. Now, you're going to let him compete and see how fast he picks up the offense and what he does. I'm not saying that. But that's the same situation Josh finds him in. Well, I'm paying this guy, all these millions of dollars. I gave him this 2-year contract. He's here, and I got to play him because I got to make it work. No, you don't. So what? You screwed up. It's costing Mark more and more money. But at the end of the day, the total amount that you spent in the year is still the total amount you spend in the year. I'm putting the player that's going to give me the best chance to win, dog. That's just me. I don't care how much I paid you. If you're not getting the job done, take a seat. Take a seat. Mike Noonan. Salute all Raider fans. Let's go. Bottom line. Frustrations building. Building one of the best players. Building up in one of the best players in the league. Let's see. Should call for the ball. I'm going to reread that, dude, because I'm going to take my glasses off. My bad, Mike. Let's try this again. Salute all Raider fans. Let's go. Bottom line, frustration is building one of the best. Frustration is building up in one of the best players in the league. He should call for the ball. And I believe that he should. Because even though we're winning, there's still a lot of problems. Enough problems for us to lose. I believe that's his approach. Raul 9. We need more Davante Adams in our team. He's not willing to call someone out. He's willing to kind of put it out there. He's calling somebody out without deliberately throwing him under the bus. He did it in such a way that I think a lot of people have missed it thus far. Not everyone, but he basically was calling out Jimmy G, bro. He even called out Brian Hoyer. Gave a little slight nod to the kid, like, go watch that Chargers game. I think Davante was loving him some O'Connell. Did O'Connell make some mistakes and lose us that game? Fact, dude, he did. He did. But do you think we would have had a chance if Jimmy would have been throwing them softballs like that? I don't think Jimmy makes that play down the sideline to Davante. I don't. And that's just the way that I feel. And I know Hoyer threw a nice ball to Tucker, so we've seen it once, but I still don't think he does it. Tragedy turned triumph. I knew Jimmy wouldn't last in the AFC West. This guy has only played Broncos. Yeah, he's only played the Broncos, right? He didn't have to play the Chargers. He's going to have to face Mahomes. And again, I don't want to come off overly disrespectful to Jimmy G. And I believe a younger, healthier Jimmy G is a lot different in this offense than the Jimmy that we went and signed. He came in hurt. He's had a ton of injuries, shoulders, elbows, knees, foot, now back. I see it, dude. I see it when he gets up off the field, bro. He is not 100%. He is aching and hurting big time. Raider John. So did you hear about Godell made Mad Max take his mask off? That dude is a football. Blah, blah, blah. I think I know what you're saying, bro. He's in effing butthole. I get you, John. And at the end of the day, bro, like, this is the politics of the National Football League that doesn't make any sense. If it's not making us money, if it's not, I mean, I don't know why you have to take the mask off, dude. It's stupid. Sam Tanaka, AOC or Hoyer can cut loose with Adams. He's almost always open. Would be nice to see a 50, 60 yard receiving TD to gash opponents. And it would. And we saw, I was really impressed by Hoyer's football to Tucker. It had just enough zip on it. It had good trajectory. It was a really nice pass. My question always been for another older man who's older than Jimmy G, less injuries, but older than Jimmy G. Can he sustain that? Can his body sustain that after getting hit a couple of times, getting banged around through a whole game, through a whole 4 quarters? I don't know. And as good as he looked in moments, he looked real Jimmy G-like in others. So I still say the kid who's known to be a gunslinger and has the more lively arm, it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. And if it's looking like it did against the Chargers and it's not looking right and he's fumbling the ball and all that stuff, like, again, then put Hoyer in. That's what Hoyer came here to do, is be backup. Let him be the backup. I think Tay is used to Rodgers throwing him the double coverage. 100%. AOC has the best arm to do it, and he has the balls to do it too. He's already done it. And it takes that. Aaron Rodgers had it. Aaron Rodgers knew what he had. I'm not exactly sure how much Aiden O'Connell knows what Davante is, but if he's young enough and he's listening to social media and all he has to do is go listen to Aaron Rodgers talk about it, and I know he has the balls to do it. He's done it. He did it in college. He was known to make plays. He's not afraid to, when a play needs to be made, he's not afraid to try to make that play. Now, there is something to being able to know when you should do it and when you shouldn't do it and really use all your weapons. And I think for the most part, when he wasn't overthinking and getting stuck back there and fumbling the football and things like that, I thought he did well. I love his accuracy. I think in game 2 against a lesser opponent, in my opinion, I think his nerves won't be as high. It might look a little different. Then it might not. It's only his second game. Like, I mean, AOC gets a start. I'm not expecting this kid to be the end all say all, dude. I'm not. Like, that's too much to ask from a guy like Aiden O'Connell. But again, just like we look at this whole team week in and week out, as long as we're seeing the improvement, as long as we're seeing progress, the needle moving forward, not backwards. The defense, week in and week out lately, is showing us move that needle forward, right? And it's not perfect. There's things that need to change. There's things that we could work on. There's things that maybe we can even bring in to help it make it better. Fact. But offensively, it did look better. I'm not going to say it didn't, because Jimmy, I think, was doing a pretty good job in the first half, but it's still not elite. The biggest thing that I seen in the first half is that they were getting the tight end involved. You know, they were spreading it around a little bit. It looked a lot different. It did. But it still didn't look as explosive as I think that we could be and we should be. Edgar V, good evening, my dear friend. Good evening to you. I think we should use Amik more often. Amik's a baller, dude. Amik is a baller, and I said that. I said he was going to make the team, the 53-man roster, because I think that it was between him and I can't even remember the guy's name now, but he didn't make the team. But I don't know if Amik's ready. I think Amik plays, and this is a kind of a perfect example of what I've been saying about Davante Adams and that competitor attitude, that spirit, right? Amik keeps hearing that he's not good enough. Amik keeps hearing that he shouldn't be on this football team. And then when Amik gets opportunities, Amik makes plays, right? And it's kind of a love-hate relationship with Amik, because then he'll fall into this funk. And I think there's a bit of that adrenaline that kicks into an athlete when they know they got something to prove and they're really putting it all out there. It's the same thing we say about a player in their contract year. Same thing. And that's what we see from Amik. So do I want to see Amik more? If Amik can play this consistently, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I want to see this more. But we haven't really seen that consistently when he's been put into that position. So We'll see. I mean, he's grown a lot. I think he looks great. I think him and Hobbs are like, they're almost twin, right? Little undersized, but they're both not afraid to go hit and tackle. And I've seen some mistakes. I think Amik's going for the ball too much. He needs to tackle first, but he looks good. He looks good. Sam Tanaka, AOC started passing the ball to Jacob. Jacobs, hold on. Let me try that again. AOC started passing the ball. Jacobs guys in the middle instead of waiting for 16 to get open. Yeah, again, like he sees Jacobs in the flat, he's going to hit Jacobs. If that's what you're saying. That's what I'm assuming that you're saying, Tanaka, is, you know, he's making these quick reads. If it's not there right away, he'll do the check down and using Josh's ability to run in space. And it was working as well. So if that's what you're saying, I do agree. Edgar V. I'm not a fan of Bennett. I am. He was a little banged up. I mean, as a rookie, a late round rookie, I think he has a ton of potential. Like his speed, and he's pretty sticky, bro. I think that this guy's only going to get better. To be able to play the amount of football that he has this year and be able to hold it down for the most part, I think he's going to be pretty good in the future. Raider John, the most frustrating thing, sorry, John, it jumped, is the offense. The offense is so close to being explosive, but we seem to shut down in the red zone due to conservative play calling and also not making any sense play calling. Okay, I think I messed that one up. Hold on. But we're not doing it in the red zone due to conservative play. There you go. Conservative play. Oh, no, you said it twice. Conservative play calling and also not making any sense play calling. And the question really becomes for me is what part of the play calling is making that happen? I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I'm trying to see if it's one of the kids. It is, but they'll have to wait. I'll be done here in a second. The bottom line is, when it comes to the play calling, I believe that it's Josh. Basically, his play calling to me admits that he knows that he doesn't have the right quarterback. That's my opinion. And the quarterback himself is just making him more right. And I don't know. I guess I would be the type of guy, John, as a quarterback, I'm throwing it to the end zone. If I get a pick, I get a pick. There's a lot of problems this team has, dude. And it's like there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. It's a lot of problems. And in my opinion, just like last year, I'm going to say it. It's going to piss some people off. But just like last year, it starts with the quarterback and the head coach. Both as a tandem. Not being on the same page, not being able to communicate with one another, not understanding each other the right way. It's a hot mess. Sam Tanaka, I hear you, Raider John. It's like a firecracker that don't pop. That's a good analogy. Red zone play calling should be aggressive. To me, that's how it's done. It's the same reason why we got mad when he had Aiden throw it on the first down. We should have ran the ball. We should have said, it don't matter how they stack the box. They always stack the box in this situation, and you got to outplay and outrun the opponent. And we didn't even try. Anyway, I'm going to have to end it. I'm getting paged. It was an early one. So those who were able to show up and participate tonight, I appreciate you. Raider John, not throwing in the damn end zone. Not running on first and three. Take field goal instead of TD. Scratch my head. All facts, brother. All facts. Raider John, as always, my dog. Love you, dude. Appreciate you being here. Sam Tanaka, thank you so much. Appreciate you here. Edgar, thank you. Ray Gonzalez, bro, you already know. Everybody hit that like button on the way out and the subscribe button if you have not yet done so. Let's see. What else do I got in here? We had Ray. We had Sam. Raider Ben. As always, much love, my brother. Thank you for being here. We had Sam. We had Josh A. Josh A, thank you for coming, bro. Appreciate you. Richard Lyon, you already know. Thank you so much. We had Sam. We had Ray. We had Josh. We had Richard Lyon. I think I'm covering most of everybody. That Raiders fan was here. Robert Pena was in the house. Appreciate you, brother. That Raiders fan. Who else? I get my shout outs out here as much as I can. Raider Dangerfield was in the house. Tragedy Turned Triumph was here. Appreciate you. Raider Combo was in the house. Greg Atkins. Always a pleasure, my brother. And I think I covered everybody. I think that works for me. All right, guys, stay tuned. I tend to take Thursdays off. If I have time, I'll jump on. If not, Raider John, love you too, brother. Talk to you later. Yeah, I'll be hitting you up real soon. Keep your phone close. But we'll get this thing moving. I'm gonna help Edgar out. He left one more. I want to make sure I honor that. Amik will give up a play, but when needed the most, he has always came through. He does make plays. He's a playmaker. I can't say the same about Bennett, but Bennett's a rookie, right? Bennett, I think, will get there. I think you're going to see a lot of growth in Bennett next year. All I've seen from this man is giving up big plays. He's a rookie. He'll learn. He's got great speed. He's pretty sticky, but I agree with you. You know, you go with the hot hand, and right now, Bennett's hurt anyway. Go with Amik. Go with David Long. Let him heal up. Then get some time. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll ball out. Maybe he won't. Anyways, I appreciate all you. Thank you for being here. Till next time, stay Raider strong. Night out.